So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. Cause the future is now. Not backing down. Cause the future is now. When you're feeling low and thinking, where am I gonna go from here? And you look around, you're sinking. Just look for me, I'll be right there.
Center. And we're going to operate tonight by sharing a lot of information. And the first thing, I'm not even sure if everybody realizes, but this is a school primarily for preschool students and kindergarten students. So like I tell my friends, I serve kids this big to this big. So a lot of little kids, and it's pretty awesome. Because tonight's particular presentation is being live streamed, we need to stay at the podium. So it might get a little klutzy at time. Anytime one of the speakers speaks or answers a question, I'm going to ask them to come to the podium. And I also don't have control of the screen presentation, so our friend Gavin is going to be helping us out in that way. I'd like all the presenters to just come quick, introduce yourself if you would. At the podium, come on up. Some are presenting, some are just here to answer questions.
Jeremiah Mack, Community Ed Director.
Joe Kunkel, Hogan Transportation, the school bus company.
Kathy Hamill, Dean of Students at Little Mountain.
Kelly Barrow, licensed school nurse.
Brittany Anderson, Early Childhood Coordinator.
I am Robin Skatovich, and I am here with WCCA Head Start, which is an integrated program with the school district.
Thanks, everyone. And thanks, everyone, for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. A lot of information will be presented tonight, and so that you don't have to scramble and write everything down, please know that I will email this out to all of you on Friday. If you are not getting my emails, which I do about once a week, sometimes more often, sometimes less often, please let our secretaries in the office know. We want to make sure you're getting all the communication throughout the year. It could be anything about talking about a fire drill coming up or a weather-related announcement or some schedule change, but be looking for those emails. So I will send this out on Friday. And the reason this is so important, perhaps compared to maybe an information night at Little Mountain or Pinewood Elementaries, is a lot of you are new at this as parents. And our kids are very little, and we want to make sure we're keeping them safe, and we have a lot of procedures in place. So as there are certain times tonight where I'll be talking about things like the parking lot, I really want you to tune in very carefully, because we want to keep the kids safe. And our parking lot can get very full, and we just want high cooperation. So here we go. We're going to share some information with you. Go ahead, Gavin. Let's start just by talking about the school hours. Our school day begins at 9:05 and goes until 3:20, and that's for our full day preschool students and our kindergarten students. We also have a lot of half day preschool programming here in the building, and this might apply to some of you as parents. If your child comes in on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, they will either be in the morning or the afternoon, and those times are posted there, 8:50 to 11:35 or 12:40 to 3:25. There's also Tuesday, Thursday groups. The morning kids would come in 8:50 to 11:35. Afternoon kids 12:40 to 3:25. And then the Monday through Friday group would come in the afternoons 12:40 to 3:25. I don't want you to get too hung up on these times though, because some of the more important times are things like bus pickup, bus drop off, parent drop off, parent pickup. That's what you'll need to really focus in on as we talk. Go ahead, Gavin. All right, much of the presentation today will be about transportation. And for some of you, that will be about bus transportation, and that's when Joe Kunkel will come forward and speak, and Kathy Hamill. For some of you, that will literally be about parent drop-off and pickup. And for some of you, it might be a combination, but we're gonna share all kinds of information. And this slide is just some points I wanna make that I've really learned over the years that are critical to share with parents. And the first one is to establish a routine from day one. For instance, if your child is going to ride the bus all year long, get them on the bus the first day. You know, it might be tempting to make it a special day and mom or dad drop off, but it really gets us off on the wrong foot. You know, we want our teachers getting into routines right away too, so I highly recommend whatever you're gonna do regularly, do it from day one. That's my recommendation anyways. And I want to talk a little bit about point of separation. What I'm talking about there is that first day of school when you're saying goodbye to your child. It's usually best to just a quick kiss or hug and say goodbye and leave. The worst thing you can do is start crying and saying, oh, I'm gonna miss you, because then you start to kind of project, and they start to think, oh, I'm abandoning mom, I'm abandoning dad. So my advice is no tears until you're back in the car. Then cry all you want to, or back in the house. But try to cut that off. At the same time, if your child's really struggling, or you're really struggling, our social worker can help out with that, or other staff members. Teachers can be really helpful with that too. You just have to ask for help, and we will do what we can. We've even peeled kids off of moms and dads many times. I usually look the mom or dad in the eye and say, do you want me to take her? Do you want me to take him? And they're usually like, yes. And then we just kind of do it. And it's amazing how you get out the door and they get down the hallway just a little ways, they're fine. Most of the time, they're just fine. Never, ever, ever leave your child alone to walk to a bus stop or alone at a bus stop. Seems pretty obvious that I would even have to say that, but I know it happens sometimes. Don't let that happen. We're talking about 4 to 6 year olds here. So keep them safe. Let's work together to keep them safe. As far as the first day of school, you can expect it to look very different than much of the rest of the year. We, every year, get off to a rough start. There's just no way around it. Late buses are inevitable. So you're sitting at home and you know your child's supposed to be home at a certain time, and 15, 20 minutes have passed. Try not to panic. And this isn't just Monticello schools, this is all over the place. The early days of school, we have a lot of routines that we have to set. New bus drivers, veteran bus drivers learning their routes, those types of things. And teachers sometimes come out late on the first day. And as I'm sweating bullets, like where's Mrs. Doherty, or where's Mrs. Witchin? It just happens because there's a lot of moving parts. And then know that our front lot, the lot that all of you parked in tonight, it can get very, very full. And the first day is usually our worst day. You might be backed up into the roundabout. You might be backed up down the road toward Target. Expect it. We're going to have some police officers here on the first day to assist us to keep things moving, but it can be pretty challenging. So the reason I say it is because if you expect it and know it's going to happen, your level of anxiety will reduce. So, and then the most important part on this slide is to, when you're in our lot, drive safely every moment. We are talking about very little children who sometimes run from their mom and dad, and we have to all work together and cooperate and keep our kids safe. And what I see with this is usually we start off good, everybody's doing their thing, and then all of a sudden you're late for work and you get careless. Even the best drivers, the most cautious drivers. I will remind you throughout the year, you will get reminders. You'll say, oh, he's scolding us again. But it will just to keep reminding you to drive safely in our parking lot. It's to keep the kids safe. Okay, go ahead, Gavin. We're going to talk here a lot about parent drop-off and pickup. Drop-off procedures are pretty straightforward. So I'm going to focus a little more on pickup procedures, but let's talk about drop-off procedures. And I'll be showing you a map and a picture of our area out here too in a moment. But full-day preschool students and kindergarten students, if you're dropping your child off, you will drop off between 8:50 and 9:05. We will have somewhere between 3 and 6 staff members out there to help, but I train them not to go out until 8:50. And the reason is I want consistency. I don't want, some days come out a little bit earlier and send the wrong message to you. So we will be out there at 8:50 every morning, and that's about a 15-minute process. Half-day preschool, we ask you to come a little bit earlier, 8:40 to 8:50 in the mornings. If you're a PM parent, that'd be 12:30 to 12:40. And we ask that you drive curbside near the canopy where the teachers can assist. I'll show you the map in a moment, but basically you come in off the roundabout and you follow our curb all the way around till you get to this end of the building where we have a canopy, and we will assist you. Keep pulling forward, stay in your car, and staff members will greet and assist your child. Those of us that get to do this every morning, it's our favorite part of the day. There's nothing like it. We get to greet kids and welcome them in and hear about their night and see you, say hello. It's very fun. You will want to have your child seated on the passenger side in the back seat. If you seat your child on behind the driver, that becomes a safety issue. And we'll have to come around and help your child get out of the car and either go behind the car or in front of the car. We want your child in the back seat on the passenger side, and we will literally open the door. You stay in your seat, drink your coffee, listen to your music, talk to your other children. We will literally open the door, say hello to you, and welcome your child and help them out and get them to where they need to go. So stay in your seat. So that's a little bit about drop off in the morning. Pick up in the afternoon. This is where I need everybody to work together so that it goes smoothly. Full day preschool parents, grandparents, whomever, you will come pick up those children between 3:05 and 3:15. Okay? That's a 10-minute block. We want you to come pick up your kids. Kindergarten parents and grandparents, please wait, stall, do whatever you have to do to time yourself to not come into our lot until 3:15. And that will go from 3:15 to 3:25, followed by, and I'll do the second time first on half-day preschool. The half-day preschoolers in the PM would get picked up at 3:25 to 3:35. What we've done there is we've staggered 3 specific times, 3:05, 3:15, 3:25, and it's amazing by about the 5th day. Not at first. But if we don't follow this, it's very, very challenging. For instance, we might have all these kindergarten families in the front of the row, but we only have the kindergarten kids out there. And so we have to wait for the kindergarten kids and we just get bogged down. All right, so that's just a little bit about that. And half-day preschool pickups 11:25 to 11:35. So a few more bullets. This is curbside near the canopy where the teachers can assist. Just keep pulling forward, keep pulling forward. And then at welcome back days, we will provide you with a sign to post in your window each day. We're going to give everybody a sign. Even if you're never going to use it, we're going to give everybody a sign in case you do. The sign will include your child's name and his or her teacher's name. And you will get one of 5 colored signs. If your child's in preschool, you will get purple. If your child is in kindergarten, you'll get orange, red, green, or blue, because our teachers are generally sets of 3 teachers that do a lot of planning together and events together, and they literally are on one of those teams. And your kids will get to know that at recess and when their teachers talk about it and stuff. An orange team, a red team, a green team, and a blue team. So you'll get those. Perfect. All right, some more, a special note about pickup. At parent pickup, we ask all parents to stay in their cars. Every year, as the year goes on, a few parents start to decide they're going to walk up and get their kid, just because maybe it's smoother or they want to make it special, but it doesn't help. We want you to stay in your cars. Do not walk to the canopy area to get your child. But of course, there are some exceptions, as there always are. If you were to bike over to school to pick up your child, or maybe you walked over to school, that would obviously be different. And then every once in a while, there's a unique situation that comes up. For instance, last year we had a child that kept running into the lot, and it became dangerous. So I literally asked that parent to walk to park and walk over, and we would hand that child off. So once in a while, there is a rare situation. Here's where it gets really unique. If you have both a preschooler and a kindergarten child, we want you to arrive at your first child's scheduled time. You'll be instructed to either park or pull forward to the front of the line and wait. Your child will be hand-delivered to your car by a staff member. Actually, all the kids get hand-delivered. It's all hand and then open the car and let them in. And you'll see several teachers. You'll see Jeremiah Mack. Usually he's the leader in the front, and I'm somewhere in the caboose, usually talking to a parent or something, but he's very good at it. All right, go ahead, Gavin. I did want to show you the canopy. Once you know your child's color team, say if you're kindergarten, you'll know which post to look for them at, whether that's orange, green, red, or blue. And that's not necessarily your job. We'll be looking for you and looking for your color, but you might help us out once in a while. I might come up to your car and you'll say, I see Tommy right over there in the blue line. Oh yeah, Tommy, come here, and so then we'll get them to your car. The preschool kids, they all line up along the brick wall, and we have many, many, many staff members helping with preschoolers, about double to make that work really well. And we get to know the moms and the dads in the cars very well, especially a few people like Jeremiah. You're really good at it. I'll give you credit. Go ahead. This is just kind of a picture of the lot. As you see up at the top, the roundabout, you'll come in on the roundabout and literally follow those arrows to the right until you get down to this red block, which kind of represents the canopy area. We do have construction going on the Monty Club Hill. That's going to cause us some problems to start the year. We'll just do our best, right? Just cooperate and do our best. Go ahead, Gavin. And I will pause. I could take any questions about what I just presented now or take them at the end or afterwards. Any questions about any of the slides I just presented before I turn it over? Go ahead. That's a good question. In the mornings, we do unbuckle the kids. A lot, you'll kind of help or I'll do it or the teacher will do it. But in the afternoons, how have we been having? Okay, that's right. What we would want you to do is your child would get in, we'd like you to pull into a parking spot, and that way you can kick it in gear, reach back, and take care of that. So thanks for asking that question. Other questions? All right. Kathy Hamill, my good friend, come on up here.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm here on behalf of Little Mountain and Pinewood. Clay Norman is the assistant principal at Pinewood, and he's in charge of bus procedures there. And I'm in charge of the bus procedures at Little Mountain Elementary. So I'm here to talk to you about what happens if you have signed your child up for busing and how they will get to and from school, from your house to school, and that's by shuttling. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Go ahead, Gavin. So if you don't remember anything I say tonight, I want you to remember two things: address and tag. So if you're planning on sending your child on a bus, you should have signed up and registered them through Hoagland Transportation. That address is super important, the pickup and the drop-off. And for me especially, and Mr. Norman at Pinewood, the drop-off address. Because what's gonna happen is that address is going to generate a tag. And that tag is going to be your child's GPS to get them to where they need to be from home to school and then back again. So I'll explain to you how that works. If your child is riding a bus, we use a shuttle system. So they will hop on the bus in the morning and then they will go to their community school. It will be either Little Mountain or Pinewood. Once at Little Mountain or Pinewood, we let the 5th through 1st graders off. They head on into the building. And then we take the kindergarten preschoolers off of their bus and put them onto shuttle buses. So Little Mountain has 2 of them and Pinewood has 3. And it's that tag that we've generated that tells us which bus to put your child on to shuttle for us, okay? Now you might think, where do I find this tag? Go ahead, Gavin, the next slide. It's super important that you also go to Welcome Back Days, because at Welcome Back Days, your child's teacher will have that tag, and they will confirm for you that the address on that tag is correct. And once it is correct, then I brought a visual today. It's like my traveling visual. The tag will look like this. It won't be this color, but this is where it will be. We put them all on the handle. So the night of Welcome Back Days, it's important for you to bring your child's backpack so that, again, you can confirm the information on the tag and that the tag is on the backpack. Bring it home. First day of school, your child has their backpack. The backpack has their tag, GPS, and we know exactly where they need to go when they leave you and then come back to you, okay? I also think it's important for you to know, I brought this to the bus company today, and I did this same presentation. I will do it in front of my teachers at Little Mountain. Mr. Norman does it in front of Pinewood's teachers, and then I will come to Eastview and have this same presentation for them so that we're all on the same page and we can make sure that your child gets where they need to go when they're heading home to and from school. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, I have one more thing, sorry. If you are a walker, if you are in the walking area, you also should have registered with Hoagland Transportation. They generate a tag also for your child so that we know if you're a kindergartner or preschool and walking, we can get them on the correct shuttle bus. All right, any questions at all for me in that process? All right, well, on behalf of Mr. Norman and myself, we're looking forward to meeting this new group of students.
Good evening. I'm Joe Kunkel with Hoagland Transportation, the local school bus company here in town. Go ahead, Gavin. If you don't remember anything else, go to hoaglandtransportation.com and make sure your information is correct. If you have to change something, there's a temporary change on there, there's a permanent change on there. If you change daycares, we're only going by the information we have. We're going to drop that student off at the information we have. At the end of the day, if the student was supposed to be at Kids Castle or Playhouse or some other place, we won't know that unless you have the correct information. And I don't know how many of you have known about your parent portal or looked at your parent portal for your student. Do they have them yet? Your student's busing information is in there. If you happen to look last night at like 4:30, it was in there. When you go home tonight, if you go and look at your parent portal and that information is not correct, please email us through our website so we get the updated information. Unfortunately, we handed out all the routes this morning to our drivers, so we give them a week to learn all their routes. If you make a change, it's not going to get changed in the system till after the first week of school. There are some exceptions. We know that sometimes it just doesn't work and you have to have that student ride the bus, and Jamie is very, very good at getting them on the bus. But it's not fair to our bus drivers if we get 500 changes between now and the start of school to have to learn new routes again. And we got what if you didn't notice it, wrong bus time. With our little people, there's 10 rules inside the bus. We're trying to keep it to 3. Keep your hands to yourself, stay facing forward, and use your inside voice. I think those are 3 doable things for our little people. The view from inside the bus is a lot different from inside your car. We have so many times that we pull up to the bus stop and we say, "Hey, Johnny, this is your stop." "No, it's not." "Yep, this is your stop." "No, it's not." "Johnny, I can see your mom. It's your stop." "Nope." Remind them what their place looks like. Walk them to the bus stop so they know what it looks like. Make sure they walk to and from their bus stop. That's going to happen. And you're going to call me and say, "I stole your kid." I've had my kids. They're all grown up. I'm not starting over. But we don't lose kids. They're on a bus somewhere. That tag tells us where they belong. So when we get all done with our routes, our buses have a system in them called No Child Left Behind. You have to walk to the back of the bus. You have to push the button. And if you don't push the button, then the horn and the lights flash. So let's say, bus driver Joe is in a hurry and runs home. Well, 1 minute later, that bus is sounding a horn, so now our mechanics need to go out there, look to see if there's a sleeping child. It happens. I'm telling you, it happens because they fall asleep. Last year we had a little person crawl under the seat because his seatmates say, hey, it'd be cool to sleep on the floor. When you go back to check the bus, you don't necessarily see on the floor, but once we got back to our bus garage, we did find, because mom or dad called and said, hey, the bus went by, didn't drop off little Johnny. Go back 1 second. See that backpack? That's what goes to school on a bus. If it doesn't fit in there, it can't go on the bus. And I would recommend you look inside that backpack before they take it to school, because when my kid was in school, some of the wrong stuff made it to school. So check that backpack out before it gets on that bus. Basketballs don't fit in the bag, so they don't go on the bus. Okay, Gavin. Here's a good part, or the bad part, or the part I can't change. Mask guidance. At this time, masks are recommended by the Minnesota Department of Health and Minnesota Department of Education. As a result, ISD 882, which is us, will recommend but not require masks within our public school buildings and other district sites. This guidance will be constantly evaluated based on school data and local data. Please note, however, masks are required throughout the United States using public transportation, i.e. planes, buses, taxis, etc., which includes school buses, as per federal executive order that was going to expire on September 13th, but now has been extended to January. I know that we're going to come to the bus stop and the little people aren't going to have their masks on. Our bus drivers have masks in the bus and we'll ask them to put them on. When they get off the bus, I would hope they would put it in their backpack or do something with it, because when they come back out of the school, the teachers are going to help them put their masks on to get back on the buses. We're not mask police. We can barely see the little people in their seats anyway. So if you can just help us there, that would help us a ton. Okay. They should, I don't know if we get this anymore, but there is a coloring piece of paper that if they turn it back into their bus driver, the bus driver gives them a sticker back. It's just a good way for them to get to know their bus driver. And if you're out at the bus stop, try to learn their name. I told our bus drivers today, you have to learn everybody's name. That's hard. I mean, you're picking up 70 or 90 kids, going dropping off, and don't go and picking up 70 or 90 more. But my pet peeve is when somebody says, hey, bus driver. My name's not bus driver, my name's Joe. I like to know every kid's name. I say good morning to every kid, and I say good morning by name until I get them all. And then they think it's silly that I keep saying it over and over, but I want to learn their names. And this is one good way to start, by filling this out. Say, you know, hey, bus driver John, here's my coloring sheet, and they'll give you a sticker back. I don't know if that's my sticker. That's you. I must be. I'm all out of slides. That's all I got. If you're having trouble with your bus driver, you can call and talk to Matt at our office. If you're having trouble with routing, call and talk to Adam. It's all on our website. You can make requests for bus stop changes. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we can certainly relook at certain situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Now let's talk about food. We eat a lot at Eastview. We eat breakfast, lunch, and we have snack. Breakfast is free this school year for all of our students, so no need to worry about putting in money for breakfast. We'll get all the kids fed when they arrive, and you'll be able to follow that menu, that daily menu, by going to our website. That'll be updated each month. Go ahead, Gavin. Lunch is also free this school year for everyone. That menu is also on the website. A couple of points though. If a student wants milk only, or you want your child to have milk only, there is a cost of 65 cents per milk. An example of that might be you send your child every day with lunch from home as opposed to getting school lunch, but you want them to have milk, they can get milk. But just know there will be a charge that will accumulate on your account. And if you're really on top of things, you'll make sure there's money in that account to pay for that lunch, or to pay for that milk ahead of time. And then just real quickly about free and reduced lunch forms. In the past, let's go pre-COVID, when people were paying for all of their lunches, a lot of people would fill out the forms to qualify for either free or reduced lunches. But right now, with them being free, people aren't completing those generally. But there are some reasons why you might want to do that. One is maybe you can get that milk free or reduced. And there are a lot of benefits for our school district tied to free and reduced lunch qualifying families, the percentage. Grants come our way, funding comes our way based on how many free and reduced lunch families we have. And so we're always out there as an administration telling people, would you please fill it out? Would you please fill it out? And so I'm doing that plea now. If you think there's any chance, fill it out if you would. And you'll see from the district several opportunities to do that. All right, snack. Preschool snack, the fee for that is included in tuition. So I don't want to say it's free. What I will say is it's provided through the tuition process. For kindergarten, it's a little bit different. There are two options. Kindergartners will eat snack every day. You can send a snack if you want to. That's just fine. Or you can participate in our snack cart program. And I thought I'd have that cart here. Do you have it? All right, he'll get it. And you can see basically what happens is when the kids come in for lunch every day, after they're done with lunch, they go over to the snack cart and they pick among the different possibilities and they grab one and they take it with them. And they don't eat it right away, but they have it for later when they want to do that. There are some classrooms that might choose to have snack mid-morning. A reason they would do that is if they're the last lunch, they might go with a mid-morning snack, but they will communicate that with you at welcome back days. In order to participate in the snack cart program, there will be an electronic sign-up coming your direction at some point here within the next week or so, either from myself or Sierra McDonald, our food service director. So it's going to be simple. Child's name, yes or no. You either want to participate or you don't. If you do want to participate, it's $15 a month for full pay lunch students. It's $7.50 a month for reduced pay lunch students, and there's no charge for those that qualify for free lunch. And this is what it looks like. And sometimes there's fruit. Yep, sometimes every day there's fruit down there. That's right, I'm supposed to stay here, right? But it's pretty fun watching the kids choose. I remember when my kids would go choose something, at Fleet Farm or whatever. It was a long process. So our teachers really kind of nudged them along. Come on, pick something. Gotta go, pick something. And they'll start to figure out what their favorites are. But it's kind of an interesting concept because some families absolutely love the convenience. Other families don't want anything to do with it. And we're okay with either one. Just tell us what you prefer. Thank you, Jeremiah. All right, go ahead. This is just one slide about our ABCs. At Eastview, we operate under a lot of different committees. One of our committee is the Culture Committee, and they are the ones behind the push to teach the kids what we call the ABCs. And they are always do your best, be safe, and care for all. Your kids will be able to recite these very quickly, and then there are applications depending on where they're at. So, like for instance, here are the things that teachers will talk to them about in the cafeteria. It would look different on the playground. It would look different in the hallway. But it's always about doing your best, being safe, and caring for all. So you'll hear about that. All right, health office. Kelly.
All right, so like I said earlier, my name's Kelly Barrow. I am one of the licensed school nurses at the Monticello School District. I oversee Eastview and the nature-based program. And then I also, my hours are 7:45 to 3:45, give or take. I mean, they're not concrete, but, and here's my email and my direct number if you ever need to get a hold of me. I also have a health paraprofessional that works at Eastview every day. She is a nurse, and her hours are 8:30 to 3:30, and so you might be getting a call from either one of us if your child is in the nurse's office for some reason. Immunizations, if you could just please turn in, if you haven't already, if you could please turn in any immunization records before the first day of school, it would be great, or welcome back days. if you're wondering what immunizations your child needs, I do have a form if any of you guys need it. It's Are Your Kids Ready? The Minnesota immunization law for what your kids need, what your kids need before they come. Illnesses, I'm just going to talk briefly about this one. It's just when to keep your child home. Obviously, if he or she has a fever of over 100.4 or higher, to stay home for 24 hours without any use of fever-reducing medications such as Tylenol or ibuprofen. If your child has vomited or had any diarrhea, they must stay home for 24 hours without having any other episodes. Strep throat, they must stay home for at least 12 hours after getting diagnosed and being on an antibiotic. And any unexplained rash that you've never seen before, just like out of precaution to keep them home, let us know and contact your physician about that. Medication policy, if your child needs to have a medication during school hours that me or Lindsay would administer, all prescription medications need to be written by a doctor. We need the order and also a parent consent for that. Over-the-counter medications such as ibuprofen, Tylenol, stuff like that, we just need a parent authorization form filled out and given to us. All medication needs to be in the original bottle or pharmacy bottle, so I can't just accept a baggie full of Tylenol and you say, here, there's Tylenol in here. It needs to be in the original container and given to the health office. We can't have students transport medications on the bus. Parents have to deliver it to us at the health office. So a good way is to bring them during Welcome Back Days. Lindsay and I will be at the health office during Welcome Back Days. Any questions at all for me? Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, I think the rest of the way it's me. As far as school readiness, if you're sitting out there wondering, is my child really ready? Or you've been wavering, should I wait another year? Should I send them? And you'd like to talk to somebody, let me know. I'd be happy to sit down and talk with you. I probably would set you up with one of our veteran teachers. They could talk with you. Brittany, you'd said you'd be willing to talk with anybody. Just if you're just having uncertainty, we can certainly talk about that. I have an August birthday. My mom's 85 years old. Still to this day, she thinks she sent me too soon. She talks about it all the time. Kind of funny. So you might be one of those people. All right. Kelly was talking about reasons to keep your kid at home if they're sick. I'm going to talk to you about reasons to keep your kid at school. Attendance is, and this is specific to kindergarten, by the way. There are not laws around preschool attendance, but there are laws around kindergarten attendance. And the next couple slides have a lot of words on them. That's not necessarily where I want to focus, but I will mention them. What I want to focus on is that kindergarten and what goes on here is critical. It's important. It's your child's daily chance to learn and grow socially and emotionally and academically. And a lot of the things that we do, specifically academically, build on each other from day to day as they're learning the early literacy building blocks, the early math blocks, that type of thing. And if a child's kind of coming and going, it does cause problems for the child. And so I just urge you to get your child to school as consistently as you possibly can. It's definitely the best thing. Over the years, I've heard parents say things like, well, it's just kindergarten. And I can tell you it's not just kindergarten. Kindergarten's very, very important. And our kindergarten staff, the last couple of years, has been learning a lot in fine-tuning their teaching skills around literacy. And the thing we know is these early years are so critical for your child to learn how to read, the work we do in this very building, and then as it continues into first grade and so on. So get them to school, please. Plus the law says that if a child is enrolled, they need to be here. If your child's unable to attend due to illness, appointment, or whatever, let us know by 9 o'clock each day. And we do have a line that you can call, 272-2811. You can do that in the middle of the night if you want to. If you're up with a child that's throwing up, give us a call. You will know then that your child's not coming. Go ahead. If your child were to accumulate multiple unexcused absences, specifically 3, our school social worker will have to report that to Wright County Human Services or Sherburne County Human Services if you happen to live in Sherburne County. It's not a choice for us. It's something that we have to do. You'll receive a letter talking about it. And if unexcused absences were to continue, there might have to be a meeting with the county and school officials to discuss the matter. Again, it's not like my choice to be harping on you, but rather it is our obligation. Go ahead. And then just a few more things I put in here in the last couple of days just to really draw your attention to some procedures. Obviously, there's procedure after procedure after procedure after procedure, but here's a few I wanted to point out. If you're picking up your child early, plan to come into the office. Let's say you need to pick up your child for a dentist appointment at 12:30. We won't send your child outside to your car if you ask us to. We won't even have them wait in the office. We want you to come in, then we'll call your child down, or I'll go get them or whatever. And there's a reason for that too, because whenever a school office says to a parent, yeah, we'll have your child down there at 12:30, you might run late by 45 minutes. And then they're just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. So that's how we handle that. And please, and Kathy representing Little Mountain too, and I know if Pinewood reps were here, they'd say, please, no last minute changes for pickup. It becomes very, very challenging for our secretaries. Sometimes it's hard to find teachers. They might have decided to go out for an extra recess, or they might be visiting another classroom with their friends across the hall or something. It can be hard to find teachers. And teachers are often unable to check voicemails and emails more than one time a day. So the last thing you should ever do is send an email or leave a voicemail for a teacher and assume they're going to get it. They might not get it till 4 o'clock, and then it's too late. So please, no last minute changes for pickup if you can help it. And then please know that we only release a child to a non-parent or guardian with your consent. And you can give consent right on the registration form that you've completed, or you might give a temporary consent. An uncle's in town or something, and you've arranged for him to pick up your daughter. But let us know. We need to know that, and then just know we are going to ask that person for an identification. We need to be 1,000% confident we're sending your child with the right person, okay? And our teachers do a great job of kind of hovering over that, and when it gets sticky or challenging, I'll jump in, or Jeremiah will jump in, but just warn everybody they will be ID'd. Go ahead. With regards to volunteers, visitors, and our parent-teacher organization, at this time, just like last year, we are not allowing for volunteers until further notice. That could change at some point. We went the whole year last year without volunteers, which is very challenging. When you think about our preschool kindergarten center, we usually thrive with volunteers, but still on hold. If you were to come visit for some reason, drop something off for your child, or maybe you have to attend a special meeting with some teachers or staff, we would, in all likelihood, have those meetings in one of our conference rooms right in the office area. Our PTO is amazing, supports the school in so many ways. It's made up of both parents and teachers, obviously, but please know that all are welcome, and the next meeting is September 16th at 6:30 p.m. right here in our media center. And which kind of brings us to the end. I'll make a couple last points, and then we can entertain some questions, but we are eager to see all of you at Welcome Back Days. That is a 20-minute personal conference with you moms and dads, with your child. They'll meet with their teacher. And most of you have probably signed up for that conference already through our My Conference Time app. But we just love that setting because it's your time to talk to that teacher, for your child to get motivated and excited about the start of the year. So that's September 7th and 8th. And then the first day of school is September 10th. And that's a Friday. And some people will say, why in the world is it a Friday? We're always one day later. So first of all, the school district has to start after Labor Day. Then we throw in the welcome back days. But Eastview always goes one day later than Little Mountain and Pinewood. It's really our effort to work out some of the kinks with the older kids before we put the little ones on. Plus, your child is going to be tuckered out that Friday night. They're going to be very, very tired, and then we'll get back at it again on Monday. The Tuesday, Thursday preschool classes begin on September 14th, a little bit later. So it's an absolute privilege to be able to stand in front of you. I love my job. I love being the principal here at Eastview. I love serving kids. I love serving parents. And I love serving teachers. My phone call or my phone number, use it. I'll make sure you have that. Email me. Give me a call if you need to meet with me. But I want to serve you. So kind of on that note, we would take questions if you have any. Any questions? That might be good for everyone. Go ahead. No. So we have several staff members assigned to be out at the buses to greet those kids as they come into the building, and then we get them to where they need to go. Anything you'd add to that, Brittany? We supervise like hawks. And we really, really made a strong effort to keep all cars out of our bus lot. That's all about buses, and drop-off happens curbside, and then there's a system for getting them in the slotted lines. Yep. Good question. That is the correct answer. Do you want to address that, Jeremiah? But yes, you walk them in. There's a system to that.
So if your child is going to before and after school or wraparound care for preschool, for if you do a half day or every other day preschool, so a family you would just park at the parking lot. You will be issued a key fob. You could walk into the building. They check you in their main classroom in the morning. The same thing would be in the afternoon. At the beginning of the day, if they're at Magic Adventures, then the Magic Adventure staff will release them out into the school and get them. At the start of the year, they get them to where they need to go. As the year goes on, then the students know where to go to their classrooms. At the end of the day, this Magic Adventure staff will pick up the preschool students in the hallway. The kindergarten staff, the teachers will drop them off in this room, and then the Magic Adventure staff will check them in, and they'll start their afternoon. Any other questions? So if you're doing pickup in the afternoon, you just park, you'll fob back in, and you come into the building to check out in the classroom. They have an iPad, you just sign in or sign out. They'll check you in, check your ID. Yep, then they'll call your student down from where they're in the building, and then they'll meet you at their main classroom in the afternoon. Yep. Any other questions about anything? Preschool, kindergarten, lunch, health office? It is free due to the seamless summer option, so the federal government has decided to pay for everybody to have lunch and breakfast across the country. So, woohoo! Even though my kids won't eat school lunch half the time, but I'm like, it's free, eat it. Other questions? They'll depend upon recess is prior to lunch or right after lunch. Depend. So they'll have recess anywhere from 10:30 to 12 o'clock, and then 12:30, and then they'll come into lunch. So they have a 20, 30-minute recess, and they come in for lunch after that, so in the middle of the day. everybody's staggered based on their team color, so they have a staggered time of when they come in and out for recess and lunch.
I like the line of question.
Yes. If they're in nature-based or not in it, so. It- So nature-based is always out at Bertram or for preschool kindergarten. They will go outside no matter depends. So they have indoor space and outdoor space out there. So if I'm getting your question right, because it's hard to hear. Otherwise, I'll have you come closer so I can hear you. But yes, they're indoor and outdoor. Depends upon the day. They spend most of their day outside. If you're doing Magic Adventures at Nature Base and childcare, then they shuttle back. We do transport them as well. So obviously, let's say if it's super cold, they spend far more time inside than they do outside. If it's raining, they still go outside. They have rain suits. But they do spend the vast majority of their time outside, not inside. But it will depend on a day-to-day, based on the weather and what's going on a particular day. Did I get it? Okay. Other questions? Half-day preschool in the morning gets breakfast. They won't have a snack because they get breakfast as part of it. In the afternoon, preschoolers get snack. And some of the kindergarten classrooms might have snack in the morning because they have late lunch. Other questions? We can have you walk around now if you'd like after we're done, or you can feel free to get a tour or venture around during Welcome Back Days as well with your student.
I'll just add to that. When you come in during Welcome Back Days, we'll have staff members in the front entrance offering tours. But I would give tours tonight if anybody wants one. We could do a little walk around. That'd be fun. I'd love to. You're doing a good job. I'm going to give it back to you.
No, you got it out.
It's red hot. Come on. Go ahead. Oops. That's you.
Nope. Just in the window of time before school. We do ask that parents park. A lot of parents, if they're running late, will pull up curbside. And usually it's pretty good. But if you have to run in the office during the scheduled drop-off or pickup times, we need parents to park and walk into the building because that will hold up the drop-off or pickup line. So if you run in at 7 o'clock and someone pulls curbside, we don't prefer that, but it's not blocking drop-off and pickup times with the vast majority of the kids coming in the building. Yep. Any other questions? Or you can ask us questions later too, or at Welcome Back Days.
You had mentioned tours. Brittany and Robin said they'd tour anyone that wants a preschool tour, and I'll take anyone that wants a kindergarten tour. If you'd like to stick around, we can show you some things. That sounds nice. Any other questions? I'd like to thank Gavin. Gavin is a former student of some of ours. We're very proud of him. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. He does this a lot at the district level, and he said he was willing to do it for us tonight. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Very proud of you. And then, of course, this group of people, if you haven't figured out by now, the leadership in this building is very much shared, and it's shared among many of us as well as a lot of other staff members, a lot of people involved in making sure that your child's experience is just superb. So thank you to all of them. And thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Have a great night.